Hello and welcome. This is a quick overview of Chat with Power BI, monitoring, tracking, navigating conversations across large language models. You may ask, what is Chat with Power BI? Well, it aggregates all of your chat conversations with your AI assistants. So that could be Chat GPT, that could be your Azure AI deployment model, all with inside of one Power BI data set that's composable, ready to deploy with inside of your enterprise. Right. So, what are some of the features of Chat with Power BI? Well, one, you have a Chat with Power BI custom GPT, which connects directly to your Azure deployed model, giving you the power of ChatGPT's features, like your um, browsing feature, like your code interpreter feature, and all of the other cool things that ChatGPT enables. Right? So you can have that conversation with your conversation history from your Azure deployed model. And you can segment that Azure deployed model based on your Cosmos database. So maybe you have a dedicated database of just your prompts, right? You're using enterprise wide to enable and empower your users to be effective prompt engineers. Well, we can segment just that Cosmos database to read into ChatGPT using the custom actions so you can uncover additional insights like grouping, categorizing, finding specific keywords, uncovering different prompts as you investigate what is the best way to automate tasks for your enterprise. So seamless integration with the Chat GPT plugin. So end-to-end data flow. So we're aggregating all of your conversation history, not only in your Azure deployed model, but also ChatGPT, giving you semantic transformations of those models. So when you think about feedback or human feedback with your Azure deployed model, it's critical that you're feeding the model with the best data that you have. So with our sentiment analysis and key phrases, you can identify those user questions with high sentiment score and then feedback those conversations into the model to continuously improve it without the complexity of a lot of the other fine tuning models, cost and complexity. So this all leads to increasing inference, right? So we want to increase the inference of our models to make sure that they are in tune and aligned with our corporate AI. What does that mean? Well, producing emails that are relevant to our culture, understanding our different uh, user guides, understanding our corporate culture in general to respond effectively and efficiently to the user or to your department head or to that knowledge worker, right? So when we can take the best conversations or the worst conversations and uncover, adoption score analytics, like maybe this user attempted to utilize the model or our AI assistant and didn't have success with their prompts. Well, you can uncover those insights very easily. So there's just several different ways that we can help organize this inside of Power BI, from your automatic categorization of your different prompts based on key phrases to identifying tools or the underlying documents that are increasing inference that are being used more frequently than others. Maybe you can add some additional documentation so when you're chatting with your model, it's going to improve the inference or the response of the AI assistant, all within the low code model of Power BI. All right, so you've gone through the steps of creating your own or your corporate Azure AI deployment with a chat deployed model. And you're sharing that model with the rest of your team so they can take advantage of your OpenAI deployment. And they open it up and it looks just like this. You have the ability to ask questions. You can go and look at your personal conversation history with the corporate AI and wondering, gosh, wouldn't it be great if I could share my chat history with the rest of the team or provide feedback to improve the model or um, but at least put together a library of some of the more important prompts that are producing optimal responses, like building a user guide or responding to an email or putting together a script for a demo that you're preparing for, or following up on a specific telephone phone call, taking notes, summarizing all the things that OpenAI and Chat GPT and large language models are incredible at doing. So, what we've enabled you to do is connect your Azure deployment to ChatGPT and to Power BI. So I can be within inside of my Power BI deployed application that's connected to my Azure deployment, so I have complete visibility into my chat history. We've enhanced the way that the chat history is interpreted, giving you flexibility of not only seeing the history itself, but uncovering a sentiment score on your chats. Also, identifying key phrases that are brought up in chats, segmented by user, by time period, all within an easy to use search content within inside of chats or search titles, right? What also is extremely helpful is the automatic categorization of chats. There's so many insights that are being shared with inside of your team. Don't you want to be able to uncover what those insights are quickly with a dashboard? So I could get into the user chats, and then it looks like okay, one of the key phrases that's continuously used is my Azure AI deployment, or maybe there's instances where there's no response to a user question because your language model isn't tuned appropriately with the optimal context window or resources in order to respond effectively. All those can be easily uncovered here within inside of your conversation categorization and sentiment score of your different users. Additionally, you can just drill into the exact conversation history, just simply enter in the search keyword, right? Or maybe filter by a certain date range. Use the questions and answers to put together, oh, give me my top conversations by sentiment score over the last week, or maybe break down my conversation history by title. And then what's beautiful about Power BI is it this underlying semantic model will continue to provide positive or negative feedback based on your reports that you're requesting. So the built-in model, was this helpful? Yes. I had 9 historical conversation titles. Maybe I want to break this down into category or show this in, by number of chats by user over time period. So source by data year, maybe by sentiment analysis and key phrase. Really, there's so many different options on how you want to use the question and answer features of Power BI. To simply come to the bottom here or anywhere, I could just go here and say, all I want to do is uncover insights with Q&A, right? As we navigate to the visuals, this enables us to determine maybe there are additional tools that can be used, tools meaning documents that are being shared when users are requesting information. Since you're chatting with your corporate document, that's basically a tool. So you can see maybe instances where tools aren't being used, are being used effectively. I could also drill into each one of the different conversations themselves. So it looks like there are 13 different conversations about the Microsoft Fabric hackathon. Or when preparing my Copilot with the optimal slides, maybe that Microsoft 365 Copilot for PowerPoint, for example, how do I optimize the way that my prompts are being um, positioned with the Microsoft Copilot to enable effective slide generation and automation? Same with your different Microsoft 365 Word Copilot, and so on. So uncovering insights into the Copilot conversations within inside of Power BI, extremely helpful. As well as, gosh, paginated reports. So as soon as the model's deployed, you can connect to your underlying chat conversation history and build reports and dashboards, as well as export them. So there's nothing worse than not being able to gain access to your conversation history because it's maybe too complicated to kind of group all of your conversations together, build sentiment around it, export them. So with the paginated report flexibility, you have the ability to just export as CSV, as HTML, as XML, and so on. So once this is deployed, again, this is just a quick overview of a deployed model. It's very simple. You're going to come in and enter in your Cosmos database, your database container, the collection name, and then we're going to be able to provide you a license key so you can register the software, deploy it. So within a matter of minutes, you'll have a deployed chat with conversation Power BI template application to utilize with your underlying models. And to make it even cooler, if you are using a combination of an Azure AI deployed model and Chat GPT, maybe that's a team account or an enterprise account with OpenAI, you can simply utilize our Chat with Power BI conversation, which is an action that connects directly to your conversation history so you can uncover additional insights. So examples could be, get my conversations over the last day, sort my conversations by the most frequently used keyword, or take advantage of all of the incredible features of Power BI as or of ChatGPT as they're rolled into the product. Like, gosh, wouldn't it be nice to be able to use the browser tool inside of your Azure AI easily? Wouldn't it be nice to use code interpreter inside of your Azure AI deployed model? Well, with the action or the ChatGPT custom GPT action with Power BI, you have all of the flexibility of Power BI and or all the flexibility of ChatGPT and your Azure AI deployed conversation history. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more, let us know. We're excited to release the product to give you visibility that you probably don't have today now that you've deployed your Azure AI chat conversation model. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.